In the sum total of the first 48 years of my life on this planet, I ended up homeless, alcoholic, unable to function, couldn't hold a job, couldn't get a degree in college. None of those things were possible for me. I had a girl invite me to this church, and she said there are transgender people in the church, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. Get out of here. There's no transgender people in churches. And she said, and there's a support group there, and I'm like, no, there's no way that there's no support groups in Kansas, because I'd been all over the internet trying to find a support group. She invited me to this church, and I had to go. I had to go see what she was talking about, and I went. And the first time I went as Stephen, and I met this other transgender woman, and for the first time in my life, I actually knew that it was possible for me to live authentically. I went back the next week, and the pastor did his sermon and he was telling me that it's okay, and God says it's okay with God for you to be who you are, to live as a woman. And then I went back to that church again the next time as Stephanie. I drove to the church and I argued with myself for like 15 minutes about whether or not this was really the right thing for me to do. I knew I was going to be met with love. I'd already seen that. I knew that I was going to be welcomed, and I was starting to believe that it was okay with God, but I still wasn't sure, and it was really important to me to do the right thing. But I also knew that this was my chance. This was my one and only opportunity to actually be able to go and be around people and be Stephanie and be authentic. The pastor gave me this great big hug, and I got this love, this unconditional love, and handshakes and kindnesses and conversations, and people just talking to me, and me being able to be who I truly was. And then I went in and I sat down, looked up at the cross, and I felt truth and self in the eyes of the Lord for the very first time. And then they passed around the attendance book, and I signed my name, Stephanie Mott, for the very first time. And in the communion that day, the pastor who served my communion is a chaplain at a local hospital. And after she served my communion, she put her arms on my shoulders, and she said, "God bless your daughter for the faith she has shown in you." And Stephanie was born. And I haven't looked back. In the last 9 years, I've started a couple of nonprofit organizations, and I've held a job continuously, and I've become a commissioner on the city's Human Relations Commission. And now I'm working on my master's degree in social work. None of those things were possible for me if I hadn't been able to start being who I truly am. I can't even imagine that I would be alive today. If there's anything else that anybody needs to know about whether or not this journey is an authentic journey, if who I am now is who I should be, I would think that they could look at that and go, why would I want this person to go back to a place where every day they thought about it in their own life, instead of letting them be in a place where they can bring joy and happiness to the world? I don't want to change my reality anymore. My reality is okay. And that was never true before. I mean, it was like the first 48 years of my life were not really being alive, but just some kind of an existence. And then the last 9 years of my life have been life, actual life. When I say Stephanie was born, I mean Stephanie was born. I did not become a man. I uncovered the woman who has always been there. And as I uncovered her, it exposed her soul to the sunlight. That was a brand new experience for her. I was born into a male body, but who I am, my soul, my spirit, my personality, my mentality, they've always all been female. And to deny that, to me, is to deny the God who created me. And I can't imagine of anything else that would be more important for us to do for each other than to enable each other to live to our potential as human beings.